Let's get into this one and see what they're talking about. Talking about people saving money and all that, which I call bullshit. Okay? Some people are saving money, but majority ain't. And I'm going to prove it to you in this video. A big portion of people are not saving money because they can afford to. Everything's too high, way too expensive. But let's see what these people are going to cap about, lie about. And I know it's CBS or whatever. I know some people favoritism towards one side or not the other. So, okay? We're going to get into it. I already know how the news work. I don't believe nothing that comes out the news, but let's get into it.
Let's talk money now. And after years of some inflation, high interest rates, economic uncertainty, many Americans are turning to what's being called revenge saving. That is stashing cash away to regain control of their finances. And this new trend is creating a powerful shift in how people are thinking about money. And finance pro Mark Henry, who is the founder and CEO.
Revenge saving. How? When things are off the roof. Your prices of your meats and all that going up 6, 7, 8%. And one what? Your insurance is high, your car payments is high, your credit cards is high. Boy, they're talking about revenge saving. Let's get into it. Let's see.
Of Alloy Wealth Management is here to break it down for us. Mark, thanks for joining us. What is revenge saving?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, what is revenge saving?
Yeah, so it's this idea of like hyper aggressively saving. I think we've had some years of hyper spending, and now all of a sudden, because of high inflation, because of prices, the younger generation and others are deciding it's time to take control of their finances and get very aggressive about saving money and getting control of their finances.
Mm-hmm. It has been a couple of generations now since people lived through the Great Depression. They were, of course, the best savers of the last century.
Savers ever.
And so this is the first time this century this kind of mindset shift is happening. And how is it impacting spending decisions?
Well, it's becoming the flavor to say no, I guess I would say. So think about this. We've gotten into this culture where your friends invite you out to the nice dinner and everybody wants to say yes. Well, now it's becoming this idea of saying, hey, we're not going to go. We'd love to have you over. We'd love to join you, but we're hyper in saving and getting control of our finances. Another term for it is loud budgeting. I hate that word budget. I like loud spending plan better. But loud budgeting is really just letting people know what you're doing. And you're trying to take control and get back your life that you've kind of lost, because it's been hard for many Americans to pay the bills right now. It's tough.
If you think to yourself,
I don't think that's it, buddy. I think you're lying. I think you're lying. I think people just can't afford to do it. Has nothing to do with savings. People can't afford to save. So to me, you're trying to put a Band-Aid on something that doesn't exist. It's a lie, because from what I see from a lot of Americans, is that it's hard out here for a lot of Americans. That's what I see. So you're saying one thing, and what I see with my eyes and what I hear with my ears is totally opposite of what you're saying. So I don't get it. I think people just don't got it, and I think what you guys is doing is being propagandists and trying to act like because people ain't spending. Doesn't mean that they're saving. But I'm going to bring a point up. Let's get into it and see what he says. So far, I don't see it, what he's talking. For some people, yes. For other Americans, no. But for some people, they can ball out of control still and nothing happens. They can still be good. But I don't see what he's talking about for the average American. Nah, not at all. Nah. Something feels disingenuous about this news thing here, but we're going to get into it.
Self, you know what? I really do need to aggressively save now. What's the best way to get started?
Yeah, you have to know where the money's going first. I think that's the number one thing. And it's something, as you mentioned, the other generations were really good at. Remember, they used to write it all down. They knew where every dollar went. And right now, people really don't. So I always say, start with this. Where's the money going? So look at all the things that automatically come out of your account. All those gym memberships you signed up for. At one point in my life, I had 3, but it turns out you have to actually use them to get in shape. So find all the things that are hidden that are coming out of your account. Assign a job to every dollar. It's called zero-sum budgeting. There's that budget word again. But know where every dollar goes and assign a job for it.
What should we be doing with the money once we're saving it? I know people will always say, oh, don't leave it just.
Didn't he say people are doing it? Oh, he's telling people how to do it. Which one is it? Are they doing it? Or are you telling people how to do it? Because you just threw the whole conversation off. Or maybe I'm confused. But let's continue. But are you telling people to do that? Or are you saying that people are doing that? Because you said people are aggressively saving. Where? How? How? Explain that to me. Inquiring minds want to know. A lot of you economic guys are full of it and get it wrong more than you get it right. So, I don't know.
Sitting in a savings account because you're not getting enough return for that. So if you are saving, what should you do with the money?
Well, that's a great point because the reality is there's so much advice on all the social media sites right now. And the first word I would say is be cautious. So one of the mistakes we see people making is they get excited about doing this revenge savings and really going to get fired up about saving. Well, we do that. Have we paid off our credit cards? So let's talk about that for a second because high yield credit card debt and things like that have to go away. But what comes first? An emergency fund always comes first. So that is actual money that you will not be investing. It needs to be in a high yield savings account. Typically not found at your local bank, but many online banks actually have some savings accounts that pay a pretty good interest rate right now. So you get an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months spending, then you tackle all the debt. Once the debt's gone, when I say all the debt, I'm not talking about homes and cars, I'm talking about the credit cards. Once you have that under control, now it's time to start saving and really get invested. And that's where you start opening up things like Roth IRAs, if you're allowed to contribute to them. I love the Roth. Brokerage accounts, contributing to your company's 401s, 403s, and all the other ways you can save money. But first things first, emergency fund always comes first.
Emergency funds always come first. You're absolutely right. But you don't leave it in the bank. Especially 3 to 6 months of your money because you never know what can happen to the bank. And the FDIC cannot insure everybody. They can't. They don't have enough money to insure everybody. So, what is he talking about? So no. You can take it and save it, and if you got side hustles where you can make money off of it, you make money off of it, but not what he's talking about, not at all. Leaving it in the bank. The banks is upside down with commercial real estate, credit card debt, and bankruptcies, and with homes, and all that. Repos. The banks have unrealized losses, so I wouldn't keep it in the bank. Roth IRAs are good, but I'd rather have it in something where I can physically have. Me personally, I mess with certain things, but I prefer certain things. I'm not going to say it because I don't want people to think I'm trying to give them advice, but it's worked out for me pretty well my whole life, where I physically own and have, which are assets, And then, when you buy stocks and all that stuff, you buy stocks and all that, and you don't sell them. And then if you have $10,000 in stocks, you get, $5,000 loan, and you live off the loan and all that. But that's when you get to a certain stage in life, you can't tell people what he telling people is like, okay, whatever. 401ks is a scam. You know what I mean? Your company 401k. You better off investing that yourself and make a better return than what you would with your company 401k. So that's not a good. That's not good at all.
Yeah. Once you have those things set up, thinking about the long term is so important. But then people start to think, well, I got to live. You know, it's the summer. What's the point in living if I can't have a good time? How do you find the right balance in saving money, but also living your life?
Yeah, especially for families. I encourage people to get their families involved in this idea. Teach your children. They're so smart and they can learn so much, and they're going to have to do this for themselves. So the way to do that and actually enjoy it is you have to have fun. You know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So when you think about that, let's plan the summer vacations, the weekend trips, but let's plan them around a spending plan. We have this much available, so let's sit at the kitchen table and say we can spend this much this weekend. What can we go do that will be great fun, but stay within our goals? And teach your family how to do this kind of stuff. And getting young children involved can make it extremely actually fun.
Yeah. Always good to teach them how to find free fun, right? All around you.
That's
Any
right.
final takeaways or advice as we go from summer into the school year?
Yeah, I would say it's difficult right now, especially with the school year starting. There's so many things that cost so much money. But here's the reality of this. Revenge savings is awesome. And what I mean by that is simply this. Getting control of your finances can be one of the best things you'll ever do. People find themselves many times in a place they never planned on being and they don't like it. But the question I would ask them is, where was your plan to be somewhere else? Well, today is a great day to get started planning to be in a different place in 2 years, in 12 months, and you can do it. Others have, and you can too.
A penny saved is a penny earned, right? All right, Mark Henry, head of Alloy Wealth Management. We appreciate your advice. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I want to let you manage a dollar of mine, buddy, because you don't seem to know what you're talking about. I'm going to be honest. Not to me, you don't. Because when you look at it in totality, what you're saying that people are doing, you actually putting advice out there for people to do, which that stuff is with a grain of salt. I would like to see the investments. Did my camera just fade out and fade back in? That was weird. But, yeah. I want to take your advice. And pay off them credit cards, pay off your debt, but I don't think you have 12 months or 2 years. I don't think so. It don't seem like that. All right? On that note, man, peace and love. Be careful where you get financial advice from, man. Peace and love, and I'll catch you on the next one. This is Goof Troop.